Let's go!
Hoorah! What's going on, tubers? How y'all doing today? It's your boy Z-Rex. It's No Noise. We live. It's what is it? 3 minutes before 5 or something minutes. So almost closing bell for regular session. It's the 27th September 2021. And let's just jump right into it. Bam. Maybe we'll start with equities today since they are about to close. Let's see what we're doing over here. Interesting. We did have a vicious rally at the end of last week here, but we came right to the 21 in the mama. Lots of averages right here. Let's zoom in a tad. Kind of notice this little trend line here. We're kind of hanging around, and look at every MA pretty much on the 3 hour is within 30 points of each other. That is pretty significant. This is a tough place. Lots of resistance. I guess technically, yeah, 38. Literally every single EMA that I use is within 38 points of each other. Pretty damn crazy. And it looks like my frames are just dropping like a son of a bitch. Well, shit, whatever. I can't do anything about it. My internet is absolute trash. It only works half the... Fucking pay them damn way too much money for that shit. So frustrating. Anyway, whatever, who cares? I'm just gonna do it. It is what it is. I can't control it. Let's see. If we lose 44.20-ish, I do think we're probably gonna get some downside action. Let's see what we got over here. Yeah, 44.20 has a cool number, bro. Has a lot of confluence around here. Man, yeah, above that, it's actually okay, but we got the mama hump over here, resistance right where the wick went pretty much on this today's candle. And, you know, this isn't really that great either. I mean, we just got we looked really good in the overnight session and just kind of gave it all up right before, actually right when European session opened. Yeah, look at that right here at 2 a.m. just started dumping, so... that looks like to just have carried over to price acceptance on the downside. So that's kind of interesting. NASDAQ. Yeah, NASDAQ looks pretty... That looks like a rejection. If we close like this, especially if we close below this body and this tail at around 180-ish, then that's continuation of this little kind of hammer doji type candle here, and probably is rejection, although it is really tight, man. We got the mama here, MAs over here. Let's zoom in a little bit. Oh man, but all the MAs are above current price action. So being sub this little cluster right here at about 15.2 to 15.4-ish is not good. I'd have to give the bears a little bit of edge on that. I'm sorry, the bulls are attempting to hold on right now though. Let's see. Kind of rejection here on Dow. Yeah, that doesn't look good for bulls, like getting up into this upper area and just getting slapped down pretty much immediately. Kind of bearish reset on the 7-minute. And a bullish reset on the 3-hour, but you do have the two MAs right above each other. So anything pretty much like the last video below 35K is not very good, and bears will get really reignited with, I think, any price action below 34,280. It's kind of the line in the sand there. Russell coming right up here to this trend line. Will it fade off like it has most of the last couple times? And also there's this horizontal. I mean, probably it is until it doesn't, right? Putting a little bit of a doji on the last 3-hour. If this doji closes, if this next candle closes below like 2276-ish, I would probably look for at least a test back into this range here. And let's see. I mean, as long as it's above 2230, that seems to be the really important pivot point for the Russell. And I mean, that thing just ping pongs all day between this thing, man. So you can just see where my crosshair is. It's just ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, up, down, all right there. Lots of value at the 2230-ish area. So rejection coming up, possibly. Let's see how this 3-hour closes and see how the overnight session kind of prints up the next few candles. You get a little better idea. Dow Jones coming back into the box. Is this going to reset? I mean, but you got to give bulls a little bit of credit. They're back above the bottom here at 14,250. So I guess they're above that. It's okay. The structure isn't very pretty, so let's see if we can get some confirmation. We don't want to just come to half back of this box and start getting rejected like it kind of is right now. So nothing really giving us any edge there. VIX kind of coming right to the mama, and it is making higher highs and higher lows right off of this structure. I mean, this looks, I don't know why. I mean, I'd like to, maybe it's just some biasness in me, but trying to be non-biased, this does look like a big saucer pattern for like a big move to the upside, like it's charging up. Yeah, I mean, I think a daily close about 27 bucks on this is probably going to run really hard. Let's see how this week plays out. There's lots of votings and stupid Fed crap, whatever. I don't give a shit about any of that, but you can see it in the chart, man. Oh, geez, yeah, we're sitting right here on this gap, too. Yeah, this is an interesting spot for VIX to be chilling. It doesn't have any resets like we had back over here when we were looking for upside back in the earlier September days. It still needs like probably another couple of days to do that reset. It is interesting where it's getting caught even on the low time frames, too. Let's go to VVIX. VVIX coming all the way to the bottom of the threshold. This is the deepest retrace from this kind of trend line that goes all the way back to the 19th. Pretty much the 19th of February, 2019. So, interesting. Little deep retracement here. I'm real curious to see how VIX is going to look in the next couple of days. Oil just looking so good. This thing just got, this is so sexy. We were talking about this the other day. Breakout retest of the the trend line cross, all this business in the 70-71 area, and then just gets continuation. I mean, this chart looks really good. The weekly is the only thing that has got a lot of resistance here. Maybe in just about the 76 area. We get like 2-3 daily closes above $76. This thing is probably going to run to, hold on, let's see, to the top of this channel in linear, which is at about $78-79. So, you know, that is definitely in the cards, but there is mega resistance here. You can even go back to the 2018, and you can see right here this 75-76 area. But to be fair, this is a very sexy read on the EMAs for a weekly. The only thing that isn't super great is the oscillators are okay on the weekly, but pure price action is very sexy. That's probably the weakest thing about oil for the bulls right now. But damn, pretty nice. Yeah, clearing $78-79. This thing is probably going to go to, I mean, let's see what an extension is. Let's see, 1618 is 83 almost. Damn, and 2618, look at that, is underneath this long-term trend line belly, just shy of $100. So, dang, that's crazy. We're going to mark some of these levels off. I'm just going to split the difference there, or maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. There it goes. And see what happens. Those are kind of the targets for now. What would invalidate that? Any price probably back below 70, 50. Anything back below that, it's not going to be very sexy. All right, ZB. Man, ZB bonds are just getting murder fest. I guess they're not liking this dollar and TNX rally. I mean, TNX has just been, I mean, look at this textbook TA stuff. Sending triangle breaks out one day above it, open and close. We are getting a little resistance. We did get to the target area we were looking for in the low 150s. So we just did get that. So it's going to take a little bit of time probably to digest what we're going to do from here, because it did just do it in 2-3 days. So see kind of what happens there. Dixie still looks super good right here. I love this reset pattern right on top of the long-term EMA. All the oscillators look great. The weekly is starting to look pretty damn good. It still needs probably another month or two to really look sexy. Speaking of the monthly, let's go to the monthly. Yeah, this is kind of like a little W basing type pattern down here. So this looks pretty damn good. I like this daily chart. I think if we get a couple dailies above 93.50 on an open and close, this thing is probably going to start running fairly hard. I'd actually be looking for probably like 95 and change on that if we did get some follow through. And anything back below like 92.40-ish, I would start to change my tune a little bit. Euro, yeah, whatever. We did the Dixie. It's kind of the same. DAX, just nothing. I don't like this candle here. I think that's a pretty ugly candle on Friday. And as long as we're below the open of this candle at 15.7-ish, I would be cautious on this guy. Shanghai getting some continuation to the downside. Did find a little bit of love right here, so maybe it's okay. I don't know. Not my favorite chart now. It's real sloppy. It was real clean off this break right here. Super, super clean break. Went to the target, got immediate rejection. So now we kind of need some reset time on this. It does have like a H-type pattern right here. This is interesting. So we do have this kind of H right here, which is hard to short into generally. It's a good way to remember that. So it's hard for shorts to get going and get continuation to the downside. What I'd be looking for here is this level to hold right around there at about 35, mid 3500s. And if we start creeping back up this way, I would, and especially if we get daily close above 3650, I would look for this thing to break out with full continuation without a stall. So that's actually an interesting chart here on Shanghai. Gold ain't doing shit. It's just price is accepting below 1760. This horizontal, that is not sexy. We have had time to let all the oscillators get very bearish on gold. I mean, this is a textbook setup on gold for shorting. The only thing that it's kind of got going for it for the bulls is nothing really. No, it's kind of this maybe could be an inverted head and shoulders, but literally that's one thing against, like, I mean, the weekly sucks. I mean, look at this. This candle was super sexy, very, very sexy candle. The problem is it just got taken out in the second week of September. So this really needed to hold up. We were talking about that. Got a lovely bounce off of it. Immediate rejection at the middle kind of all this business and this range that I have plotted out. And now we're getting continuation, struggling to even get back over the 55 weekly and the 1760s horizontal. So pretty bad look for gold. Yeah, I mean, this even looks kind of like a bear flag here. I mean, it's not good. I don't really like this price action. Man, we start getting below 1730s. Again, I do, on almost any time frame, I do think that this thing is going to start selling off some more. But it could hold on right here and maybe put this little sloppy ass inverted H and S on, but it's not very good. Doesn't look very great. Silver bouncing off here, kind of same thing. Reset. Doesn't look as, hold on. It's not as bearish as gold, because the thing that's really shitty about gold is, like, this 200 crossed the 3770 EMA right back here. You can see in this cluster. And generally, that's not great for the bulls. So, a couple times, you know, it has been okay, like right here in this consolidation, but a lot of times when it gets back below that, it's not very sexy. So our best bet for gold is to really hold that 1730-ish level. Outside of that, I think it's going to get kind of fugly. Oh, and here's a good example real quick of the H pattern. So just in case you're wondering, because this one isn't really talked about that much. A guy at Peter Resnicek at Shadow Trader. He's a good trader, good dude. He's like one of the only guys I know that talks about it. But anyway, you can see the H. It's hard to short, easy management as long as it's holding this other level. And there's like almost no wiggle room on these patterns. It really has got to hold the low, and I like to use bodies mostly on this pattern. And you can see this is like textbook sexy off this H pattern when you get this guy engulfing the right part of the H hump, and then you get continuation, and then the safest buy zone or sell. I mean, it could be like a I guess a Y, it'd be like this or something. So the safest re-entry is right when it comes back to test this, and man, you can see that this pattern just worked out real well here. So, you know, because these just trick a lot of people. It does look bearish as hell, this type of pattern where you're like, oh shit, here we go, we're gonna just break through. But a lot of times this will happen. I would say the majority of the time in those patterns. So maybe that's the best thing that it's got going for it. Platinum actually showing a little bit of strength, like relative strength in the PM sector. I would say it's okay as long as it's holding this 950 area. I mean, that's horizontal we've been watching for a while. So as long as it's kind of holding that, it's all right. But you do have that trend line right there. You got a cross here at like 1070. So, I mean, there's a lot of work the bulls got to do. But as long as they're holding 950, it's okay. And it's really kind of just neutral off of that. All right, so that's pretty much for the stocks. I actually did want to go look at the Fangman T, because they don't look good. Look at this. 11% down from the highs. Google 6. Oh, sorry, that's not accurate. It's more like 4. Amazon, I mean, 11%. Netflix trying. So Netflix actually might be the best kind of looking one, kind of consolidating at the top here in the upper 5s. which isn't terrible. I mean, this could just be a retest for some continuation. That one looks okay. But all the other ones are pretty garbage. Oh, Tesla looks good too. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, 8%. So it looks like they're all about, on average, about 8% down. Microsoft is a little on the low side, 3. And then Tesla has actually just been breaking out. Tesla's been looking really good. Once we got back above that 680-ish area, came retested it right here, and then got full continuation. This has been very, very technically speaking, just a beautiful chart here. Way to go, Elon, everyone's favorite hustler. Let's see. Let's kind of extend that line out. So as long as it's riding this trend line, I don't see any reason to be fearful of it. All right, let's see here. Oh, look at this. This is interesting to me. Fuel cell stuff is getting love today. I was seeing a lot of articles about how nuclear is green and carbon neutral and all this stuff now. It's funny. I talked about it a few times on the show. Not a whole lot, but just that nuclear seems to be primed up for a big move. Or a bigger move. I know something like UUU has already had a really big move. But I'm talking like breaking out of these structures that it's been in pretty much the whole year. Kind of like Russell, right? So, yeah, but anyway, a lot of these popping. We've been watching these like crazy. Nibbled on the show live. Bought some of this fuel cell down here with some puts. So that was pretty good. I took that off today, though. Oh, excuse me. I took that off today because we're coming up here at this major resistance. And it was options, so, you know, those you gotta... And I sold the premium, so I was already at like 60% of what I could make max anyway, so I decided, I still had like a lot of time in that cycle. And so I was like, I might as well take my 60% and run. Oh, let's see. Yeah, but a lot of these looking pretty good. Fuel cells, I still think that's something to really watch. Even though nibbled a couple times and got bit on the weed stocks, I still think they're very much worth paying attention here because they're in this like kind of forgotten, no one gives a shit about them pattern. And when stuff is in patterns like this, yeah, it does just kind of tend to want to go down. But every once in a while, this shit will just pop really hard out of nowhere. And I kind of think that weed stocks are coming up on something like that. If we got a big flush out, like something like this, maybe not even this big. I mean, this is really serious, but this is Corona stuff right at the end. It's just like bleeds out. Oh, capitulation right at the end. But yeah, I do like that this is kind of sitting right here on top of all this business. And we can use the cheat sheet, market profile. You can see too below 21 bucks, mega resistance at 21 bucks, but also showing a pretty nice fat node here at around 9-10 bucks. So not too bad. All right, moving on. We don't really need to go through that many. It's not there yet, but I just think it's warranted keeping an eye on that. Interesting CV stock stuff is kind of rolling over a little bit. Regeneron, yeah, not great. APT, a lot of these aren't looking so hot. And Novavax kind of trying to come back into the box here, making a semi-sloppy head and shoulders. But the measured move on that's only going to be about to like right in the middle of the box. But still noteworthy. It's kind of getting a lot of weakness here. Maybe we're kind of done with some of this Corona hype. We do have an interesting spot for Pfizer. I might have nibbled on this had I looked at this earlier. I skipped over Pfizer, actually. But it's right here at the previous all-time high, kind of chilling. So this is easy risk management. We get any price back below this 43 level, and you know it's pretty much probably going to go to the upper 30s or low 40s, or lower 40s. But whatever. CVAC, pretty ugly. So, all right, let's go back over here to crypto. Get that crypto. All right, what is Mama Bear doing? Let's look. Let's look at a clean chart. Look at that. Oh, crap. It's getting rejected? That's not good. Man, I thought it was looking a little bit better earlier this morning. And it looks like just pretty brutal. Yeah, it seems that everything started selling off right when the Euro session opened. I kind of noticed a pattern in that futures big pump right at the American or right after U.S. Open, just bam! Look, it's amazing, and it was like, no, just kidding. So that's pretty ugly. On the crack time frames are agreeing that this 44,000 area is very important, and right now, I mean, we're just making lower highs and lower lows, and so maybe there's this little kind of triangle building up right here or something. I just kind of saw it earlier today. Maybe that's in play. Maybe get resolution by this coming weekend. But it doesn't look great, man. Does not look great. Real sloppy EMAs. And I think the best way to just read this one and how I'm kind of playing is as long as we're below 44,000, I just can't be real bullish on this. I mean, it's lower highs, lower lows on a daily. I mean, that the daily is a super important time frame. It's bearish as hell on the DMI, unlike everything. So, I want to see at least a trend change on the daily. Because if we can't get that, I mean, it's not very pretty. We got all the EMAs right above it here. I mean, it's pretty fugly. There's no really sugarcoating it. I guess the best thing you could maybe say is we've got this little tinier symmetrical triangle that's actually going to break out. It looks like, tomorrow probably, or even tonight. But I don't know, man. I just like, I'm trying to keep it simple. Sub 44, just whatever, man. Not my cup of tea here. And I don't like that price today is just getting rejection after like a pretty decent rally. And, oh, yeah, and this 458 just tweezer topped right here. So, man, we got so many confluences saying that sub 44,000 bears do have the edge. Let's see on futures. Yeah, futures kind of agreeing with that same area as well, so that's good for confluence. Yeah, I mean, it's barely holding on to this 200. I mean, this is slop fest. One thing I will show y'all that is very noteworthy is this weekly was not able to hold the 21 EMA. Yes, technically this is a close below it. Bitcoin generally will ride the weekly 21 for a long time, and it did not this time. I do think that is very, very concerning for the bulls because if we clean this chart up a little bit, you can usually see when it does close below it, there is some downside action that follows through. And even if you don't count this one, I guess we can technically look. It's so close. It's probably right on top of it. It's 444. So it did close right above it. But even this one that closed below it still had a little bit of continuation to the downside to the tune of almost 20%. So it's not sexy when Bitcoin closes below a 21 EMA, especially in like for upside stuff. It really needs to retain that. I mean, look at this last rally in 2017, 2-year just stupid rally. I mean, it never breached it. It just rode it the whole time. If we go back to, in this one, it only breached it for a second with a nice engulfing weekly right after it. Price acceptance on the top of the range, continuation. But you get my point here. And so now what are we doing? We're closing below it. The mama's below it. I mean, we've taken out the previous month and a half of business. The EMAs are really trying to stay sexy, but I mean, there is just no momentum on the weekly oscillators. I mean, so be a little cautious about that. And I think we just have to wait for the daily to print something out for us. Oh, let's see. And futures look even worse. If you go here to we don't have as much time, right, on the futures because they've only been out a few years. But if you look in the same principle, whenever they close below the 21 EMA, 100% of the time in the futures, it leads to lower prices. So that will be here. And that will be here and here. Although it went sideways mostly, but it still went 10%ish lower. Can't really see it here. It probably would have been in this range somewhere, but whatever, we don't have that one. And also to the upside, it also applies too. So you can see here when we crossed above it, that's what we were looking for. And it was like, oh shit, this is getting kind of sexy. And just kind of petered out here. I mean, you can kind of even see the momentum. Yeah. And then it's like, and then Bear said, oh yeah, this is a perfect opportunity. Right on the mama. I mean, look at this shit. I mean, this is just too crazy. The mama scares me sometimes. I'm like, what? How? What? Super extra, super neutral on the oscillators, though. So I'm watching kind of more of the daily right now, and I am leaning bias a little bit to the downside. I just want to see the daily print something that looks a little sexier. Ethereum, unicorn shirt, man, does look better. It is above its 21, so it's nicer. It has closed below the 10 simple, and maybe the 10 simple is something. No, it kind of got squeezed right there. Let's see. Well, it did come to fruition here. Yeah, Ethereum's just a little bit different with that. And as long as it's all, I mean, this is what we were talking about the last video. I mean, it's 27 to about, 30,050-ish or whatever. That's kind of been the range. You can see we've been bouncing lovely off of the 27 hundo area. Oh man, look at this. This is a tough read. So zooming out, this possibly, you could call it like kind of symmetrical triangle. Oh man, look at that nice straight line. Kind of symmetrical triangle here. I do think there's an argument too that you could call this a descending triangle. So again, tough reads, sloppy EMAs on the lower time frames. So I'm just using horizontals. I will say that the bears do have full dominance on the 458, and they do have full dominance on the daily. So you do have to kind of lean to downside pressure, and that's what I've been kind of playing myself. Is just, I'd like to buy some dips or whatever have you, but this is a sloppy read, and I kind of just want resolution. I'll be more happy about buying dips for long term. If we get it back above this trend line, and ultimately we'll be back above like 3,300 if you want to keep it even more simple. So let's go to futures. Futures just kind of being sloppy still. Yeah, so I mean, it's the same shit, different day. 2,700, about almost 3,100. And after that is about 3 to 33. And I mean, that's just kind of what we're chopping. I think any price back below this tail right here at 2650, I think on any time frame pretty much, probably is going to get us to 24, 2,300. So yeah, I'm not very sexy there. Bulls definitely got some work to do. Litecoin, all these are going to be just whatever, man. Blah. Actually, this is getting a bearish reset on price action. Yeah, this is pretty textbook right here. Bears have full control on this asset below 157. And there is no sugarcoating that one. XRP, same thing. Sub $1, guys. Same shit, different day. Hasn't reset all the way on the daily yet, like Litecoin. And this one has more of the symmetrical triangle, which is actually pretty much filled out at this point. You can't see what I'm saying. It's kind of like this, right? And they usually break at 70-ish%, which is about where we are now. So, ooh, doggy, get ready. Terrible chart. XLM looks like garbage. There is nothing I want to do with that chart. Same with ETC. Looks like absolute trash. That's only saving grace is the 43 handle. We start getting it. I think even just a single daily below 43, like a close, is probably going to get us into the mid 30s. Pretty brutal. This looks like a topping formation now. This looks like distribution on that ass. Like, this is almost pretty much textbook distribution look. We'd really have to clear $33 for me to kind of change my mind on this. Don't like it. ADA just grinding down, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Same thing. Kind of distribution here too on Chainlink, getting rejected on the bottoms. This is a lot sloppier read than the other cryptos that we generally look at. Same kind of symmetrical triangle thing on the low end. And man, to be fair, it's almost like a flag, like a pennant thing on the bottom of these sell-offs. So that's kind of shit. That's kind of price accepting the lows here. The market accepting these lows. EOS terrible below 420. Just don't even care about it, at least for the long side. Oh, BSV, just garbage. Garbage chart. Garbage chart, man. I mean, until it gets back above this trend line, who gives a shit? Jeez. Monero, give me something. Let's get something. Nope. Monero. I mean, okay, so it's trying to hold on to 377, but lots of pressure here from 250 to 260-ish, and all the oscillators are pretty much bearish. All right, so maybe there is something. This kind of has it has like that same triangle, symmetrical triangle. This one almost has an argument, like better than the other ones, of an ascending triangle, but that's probably forcing some hopium a little bit because it felt kind of dirty saying it out loud. Sub 250, whatever. ZEC just riding this trend line. All full bearish reset does not look good. These do not look good. These charts are not sexy, guys. Same with Dash. Terrible. Same with, man, Doge is barely hanging on. Let's bring our box of life here a little bit. Man, we're right on the cusp of breaking down. Man, this looks like it wants to test the teens. I mean, they just don't look good, man. Hex is the only one that's trying. It has a little ascending kind of triangle at the top of the range, but all the oscillators are starting to lose their luster. Let's zoom in a tad. Yeah, gotta be careful. Hexagons need to be real careful if price loses 40 cents. Yeah, 40 pennies, man. We get below 40 pennies. I think low mid 30s is pretty likely, and probably a 55 test. We haven't tested the 55 in a while. All right, I think that's it for that. Let's go to the blockchain companies. Coinbase, right in the middle of the range. Nothing to do there. Terrible. I guess you thought maybe the American companies might get some love about the Chinese banning the miners in Bitcoin for the 48,000th time. But nope. Hut. Yeah, nothing really here. How about GBDC? Yeah, GBDC kind of has an ugly distribution pattern here too. Yeah, sub 36 bucks. It's just not very sexy. And that's it for that. I think I'm just going to wrap it up there. Oh, Nuke stocks. Did they do good today? Yeah, they did. Look at this. Oh, this is a new one I got in today. Oh, hell yeah. I got in on that one on the beginning of the day, so that's pretty sweet. Oh, damn, little late day pump. I likes it. Yeah, so it definitely was not my volume, but I bought back over here at like, I don't know, 10 o'clock or something. Yeah, like right around here. But, yeah, all right, cool. Oh, I like this chart a lot. Risk management, even though it's a penny stock. I don't trade penny stocks often, but I just put less money in them. I just manage the risk like that. And, I mean, just something like this right on top of its highs, right on this breakaway price action, and then we're right back testing it after, like, almost a year. Yeah, I'm going to take a stab on those ones. Yeah, I don't always get them. I've done a couple live ones on here that got busted, like CVSI, MMNFF. A lot of penny stocks mostly, but, you know, it's all good. This one is in a similar posturing. I actually do like this one too. I just had to pick one, go from there. This one I don't like as much. Oscillators, it's okay. It's a little far away from this low here at 37, so it's a little too far for me. Nuke stock here, uranium. This actually might be pretty sexy price action coming back to retest the 21 daily. Kind of rejection little cluster up here. So I'd probably look for... Oh, my phone is ringing. I'd probably look for... man, and this is... Oh, sorry. This is even like an ascending triangle here and got failed. Interesting. Oh, man, this actually could be turning into a double top. I think if we go back below 250, that would look really bad. But outside of that, it looks really good. I was just trying to kind of beat my own bias here. But yeah, above 250 looks pretty damn sexy. And... shit. Yeah, I mean, you know, this actually looks pretty good. Above 250, let's get it in. Lots of U's. Such a weird thing to do so many U's. Like, how many U's can you do? You can put like 83 U's in your name for Energy Fuel Inc. It's kind of silly. Whatever. Very sexy. I really actually like this chart. Attempt breakout does fail. Like, oh shit, it sucks. And the bears are like, haha, I told you. But then, look where we are. We're resting. And today is giving a little conviction of this being like the stalling point. Kind of in the middle of the box range. And right on top of these very sexy EMAs. And we don't have the horizontals. Let's go ahead and add those real fast. Badow. Yeah. Okay. So as long as the bulls hold about $6, this thing is probably going to run back to the upside. Let's zoom in a little bit. Oh, sorry, I was on the 2-day. My bad. Still kind of same area though. I mean, you know, give or take 10 cents, whatever. Does it still have the momentum? Let me double check that. Yeah, okay. Technically, it is kind of starting to lose it, but sitting right here, same kind of thing applies above about $6, 6.15. It does look pretty good. Sloppy on the low time frames. This is where I'm going to be looking for entry for me, is if we can get a reset of the 3-hour time frame to the upside, I will use that as an entry point on this chart. If not, you know, whatever. It's all good. There's a million things to trade. All right. Oh, one thing that was really a big mover today was banks. Financials were killing it, man. Look at regional banking. Look at this. Just off these lows, like, what is this? I guess they're really liking TNX. The rate's going up. You know, they pretty much look the same. They get to make more money. Oh, man. I mean, this is an aggressive move to the upside. Let's see if it's in individuals. Yeah, gold. Yeah. JP Morgan definitely liked it. Not so much on Goldman. The squid was not participating as much. They didn't like that mackerel or whatever they treated it with. Yeah, same here. Just kind of whatever. Man, Bank of America killing it. Almost. Is this all-time highs? No, not quite. 08 at about $54. Damn, dude. That's crazy. Oh, this is just too aggressive. I don't like when stuff... I mean, this can't get more vertical. And look at this. I can't... I mean, besides it being pretty much straight up, it really can't get more vertical. I'd be very cautious about this. If this thing snaps this little streak here, it will give it a little bit extra room. It's probably going to come back down to, oh, man, like 41 handle as of now. But... yeah, just something I thought was interesting. That the banks are just really liking this TNX rally and the bonds falling out. So pretty interesting there. Oh, some gun stocks. I do think gun stocks are looking pretty sexy here, especially Ruger. I do like this, bouncing off the 200. All this consolidation. Still got some work to do. It's not the best looking chart, but I do think that it's starting to look worthy of watching and keeping an eye out. I actually did take a little bit of position today, and Vista, I like this little reset. Yes, the mama is right above it, but it's like kind of making a saucer pattern too. And as long as it's holding kind of about $41, I'm going to hold on to this one. And I did do it with call spreads as well. So my risk is managed and mitigated built into das spread. And also on these low time frames, we got this kind of inverted head and shoulders type pattern. And at the end of it, we have the EMAs all opening up, and we're bullish on all the oscillators. So I do like that. Also easy management. Like I said, below 41 bucks, I'll probably let that one go. I might give it a little bit extra room since I have options on it, but we'll see. All right, let's Owen. This one's okay. I do like it's making higher highs, higher lows. So maybe this one starts getting going too, but it really does need a daily close above 52 bucks. Smith & Wesson, I do like this one. Did I get filled on that? I don't think I did. No, I had an order working today. They never filled me. That's okay. I was just trying to get filled here. Also, just easy risk mitigation. Anything for me back below this 20, mid-20s area. Maybe just 20 flat to keep it simple. Then I would consider this busted. But right now, it is kind of looking a little bit sexy. If we zoom in, another couple of days, this thing could reset and look really good. All right, so we got that out of the way. What's real estate doing? Real estate looking okay? Yeah, not really. No. What's IYR doing? Damn, real estate actually looks kind of bad. It's like the weakest it's looked in a while. Best bet is something like this is going to happen, pop off. Or we just base for a little bit or immediate snapback at the 55. But man, it closed like this today. That's not very good. And there is a couple houses in my neighborhood that have been on the market for a month now, and that I have not seen a house last 1 month here. Period. Not in the last year or two. They get snagged up so fast. I'm in a neighborhood that has bigger lots. It just got a new toll road like 3 minutes away, so you can access and get downtown in like 10 minutes. I mean, and the houses have just been getting snatched up. And this one's been on the market for a month now. So pretty surprising. That is very interesting. All right, I think that's it for today. Just final thoughts real fast. Bitcoin, you got to get back above 55, man. I'm sorry, 55. Well, yeah, of course, we'd all like to see that. But I mean, you got to get back above 44, man. Or this is kind of a rejection candle what's printing for today. We got 3 hours left. Anything can happen. Oh man, ETH is already selling back off again too. Yeah, shit. So sorry, we already did that analysis. 44, sub 44, no bueno. Really needs to hold. Let me zoom in. Man, I think it really needs to hold just like 42. I think back below 42 at all is going to get kind of ugly. And Ethereum, same thing. Kind of making this descending triangle type pattern. It's not, it can maybe be symmetrical. It's kind of like right in between both. But regardless of that, look at this coming into the EMAs that are all stretching down and is getting rejected so far. Bears definitely have dominance on Ethereum below about 3,100 handle, and ultimately really like 3,300 in the longer term sense. The one thing I did want to mention, the best thing maybe for this price action is, this also is true on Bitcoin, is we are making falling channels. So a downward sloping channel generally does break to the upside. So the problem is if it takes too damn long and keeps chopping down there, an upside break will just come back up here and retest, you know, like halfback 3.8 or 6.1, 618 retracement or something like that. So, but whatever. All right, I think that's it. Das ist alles. I'm out of here. Much love. I'll see y'all guys soon. Tomorrow for sure. Have a wonderful day. Peace.